पहले तो फ्री आ जाइए।
Right, time for Glenn Maxwell. Best part of 13 overs or so to go to finish the innings. Walking with the short ball. It's good bowling this for Shami, nothing more than he deserves. 2 for 35 from nearly 7. I think all sides these days in the modern one-day game will challenge themselves. How can you get wickets in the middle overs? That's exactly what Shami's done. Brought back in to get a wicket, and it's a little shorter perhaps, but he gets the under edge.
The first ball of the over he had pulled very nicely for a boundary. This one didn't bounce as much as he thought. Another bouncer. 189 for 5. So it's down to Marsh again to play through. From an Australian point of view, you need Marsh sort of making 130, 135 from here. India need a wicket, another wicket now, and suddenly the match looks very different.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's where you need to give a little bit of credit to Indian captain Virat Kohli as well. He made the change to bring Shami back on, going for that wicket, really try and break that partnership which was starting to blossom between Marsh and Marcus Stoinis. It's read the situation of the game really well.
Well, we've got a slip in place now for Maxwell. He's also moved square leg a touch finer. He was just telling square leg, for Maxwell I want you finer. Well, the spinners are on. Dhoni's the other commentator.
I was going to ask you what he said.
I suppose that the short fine has to be a bit squarer, doesn't it? With that short boundary, got someone at deep backward square. If anything goes between that short fine and deep backward square for 4, then you'd be pretty disappointed, I think, as a bowler.
Jadeja's trying to bowl nice and straight to Shaun Marsh. He's so powerful when he can get his arms free and hit down the ground or through the offside. So he just wants to try and tuck him up on the hip of Shaun Marsh. too wide on that occasion. Shaun Marsh was able to free the arms and swing the ball away over the leg side. Beautiful shot, he goes into the 90s.
Well, it's brilliant batting. When you think about how fatigued he might be in this heat, 42 degrees, he's battled on, still finding the power and the range, but excellent placement.
Bit of a cat and mouse game this, when he's straight into the pads with no room, he bowls a dot ball.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. And the last man to go was Marcus Stoinis in Mohammad Shami's previous over. Just swivel, pull shot, bottom edge through to the keeper Dhoni. Australia were 5 for 189 at that stage of the game.
Shami's been very impressive. Average speed 140 on a hot day like this. You talk about how difficult it is for the batsman, and that's a valid point. But for the bowler to come running in, bowl 140 average in his 8th over is not bad at all.
That was a good single from Shaun Marsh, because it was to Jadeja's right. You know how deadly he is when the ball goes to his left and you can pick the ball up and throw it.